We're Batman at 89. Hello and welcome to Batminute 89, the show where we analyse soup and partake in Bat Chat, 1 minute at a time. I am your host, John Parker.
And I am the other host, Niall McGowan.
Yes, and today we are joined by Kit Flemons, musical fiend and punk rock accordion destroyer of the band Rat Bit Kit. Hello.
Hello. Oh, that's destroyer. I like that. Destroyer of worlds, destroyer of
Eater
music.
of worlds.
One note at a time. Eater of worlds, yeah, that's...
Well, yes, today we are taking a look at minute 31 of Batman. And the minute starts with Bruce and Vicki on the most painful date imaginable. And it ends with Bruce rescuing things with his charm, because he's our lovely little Bruce.
Yeah. Well, when we get to that, I'm wondering if it's a genuine charm or it's just accidental. But anyway.
It is an excellent question.
I hadn't watched this Batman for about 10 years, and I jumped straight into it watching the first minute, and I wasn't sure if he was Bruce Wayne or not. I was like, he can't be Batman. He's too mild-mannered. Is that Batman? Who plays Batman? And I had to get confirmation I was looking at the right person. He does a very good job of not being Batman.
It's a very different take on Batman, as we've discovered as we've gone through. He doesn't play it like Christian Bale's Playboy character. He's more just unassuming.
Yeah, Christian Bale is, millionaire with anger problem. He seems quite fitted to going around punching people at night. But Michael Keaton, he's just unassuming. He's not very bat-like so far. He's doesn't seem very angry. He doesn't look like the kind of person who'd take pleasure in throwing thugs off roofs, but...
Well, that comes later when he's bitten by the radioactive bat. And, yeah.
I think it's actually part of, like, the Keaton charm of his performance, in that, like, Christian Bale is just all rage all the time. He just seems constantly like he's just bubbling up, and this is the anger that fuels him. But Keaton has the vibe of a man who's already snapped years ago. Like, he's mentally just like, this is my path, and I'm done. This is the line I'm going down, and I can't stop.
Yeah.
And this is like, I'm not. The anger is still in there, but it's just more like, no, this is like, I've decided once and for all that this is my fate. And you can't change my mind. And that's kind of like, it makes it seem like he's more genuinely, rather than just angry, he's more like genuinely kind of almost mentally ill. Like, it's just that he's decided that this is his life now. So
I admire that devotion. That's admirable. But anyway, we haven't even started the minute off properly here. Well, as the minute starts, I love the way we see the table that they're sat at, because I genuinely find this thing utterly hilarious. Like, the fact that not only would he have a date just come over to his house, but sit her at the table of a medieval king is just absurd.
So it reminds me of the houses I used to build in The Sims. It's got all the fancy, expensive furniture, but absolutely no charm.
No charm. That is very, like, that's on the money. That is no charm.
You've got a tablecloth or some flowers, just anything. My table here has some flowers on it.
Actually, that is an excellent point. I hadn't even thought of. No tablecloth.
Yeah.
What rich person doesn't put a cloth down? Come on.
Somebody's got a servant to scrub the table after every meal, I suppose. If you don't need to clean, if you're rich enough that you can hire someone to clean your tables, who needs a tablecloth?
Well, that's what I kind of like. This minute brings up the question of whether Bruce Wayne's actually, we're used to now seeing like the Christian Bale, like, oh yeah, he's playboy, he's out, he keeps up the front of going around being with the different woman every night and all that kind of stuff. But like, we get later on in this very minute where, like, he has his, I don't think I've ever even been in this room before. Like, he's so dedicated to the Batman half of things, and he's so withdrawn from normal society that all these rooms, like, things like this, is just this big ornate room that he's never had a woman around. And he's just like, I think this is what I do, but I'm not sure. And then it's just like, Alfred's, it's one of the failings of Alfred, I suppose, in that he's not, we mentioned last minute, he didn't light the candles on the table. And you think Alfred would be like, no, you need to put you need to wine and dine this woman. You need to, come on. You think he should be there with like, like a Cyrano de Bergerac kind of like Bruce Wayne's got an earpiece and Alfred's just in the other room telling him what to do and stuff.
And I love the way as well from the opposite end of the room, she has to shout to get the salt.
My problem here was that you see then she has to shout across to get that salt. He has the salt right up at his end. It's like, surely it should be in the middle at least, or is he just like, no, I'm having the salt? Like, what? Are you crazy?
Would you put anything in the middle of this table?
He doesn't bring the pepper over. That's what bugs me. The salt and pepper are now separated by about 8 feet. They should be a couple there.
The thing is that he's gone for this sink. Like, maybe this is dating back to like old table manners. It's like, no, you only have one salt shaker. But it seems like this guy's a millionaire. Why doesn't he have 2? Give her own salt shaker and just have it down next to her, because he's hogging his own. So it's again, maybe that could leading to the fact that like, oh, he just doesn't do this. Like, he would never think that like he took the salt up his end. He's like, well, yeah, this is the way it always is. And he didn't think like, oh yeah, she might need this, or like someone else might want to season their food. So
I think if he was being a bit less nervous around, a first date, he could have had a lot of fun sliding the salt right along, like in an old Western saloon. Maybe that's what him and Alfred get up to. That's how they do it.
That's all they do all night.
Just slide the salt back and forwards. Yeah.
That sounds like a euphemism, though. Sliding the salt. I don't really. This is a PG show.
I think that like the fact that she's asked for this salt, because it comes directly after like he asks, "Oh, how's the soup?" and she says it's great, and then she immediately asks for the salt, which is kind of like, well, it's not great then, is it? Because it needs more salt.
I heard that proper table manners, if you're being all high society, is to say, "Do you need the salt?" And then the other person says, "No, I'm okay, but would you?" At which point you're allowed to say, "Oh, yes, please." And they pass you the salt.
Oh, okay. This is where I've been going wrong all these years then. I've not been doing that. I feel ashamed.
I suspect if she had asked, though, he'd have just sort of said, "Yeah, I'm fine," and carried on eating. He doesn't look like he has much of a grasp on social interaction.
No, he doesn't really seem to understand anything about dining. I get the impression he probably just eats microwave meals or something, because that soup of his is steaming away. It's like hotter than the sun at the start of this minute. But he's still attempting to dig in.
Well, in my bat research, I found that some bats eat up to 1,200 mosquitoes in an hour.
Oh my God.
Consuming their body weight in insects every night. So I suspect it's mosquito soup.
Or perhaps, is that not the salt? Is that ground mosquitoes?
Ah, yeah, it's some mosquito seasoning for locust soup. I'd find it very hard to know when to draw the bat line. If he's decided he's going to follow the way of a bat, what point does Alfred have to step in and say, that's a bit too much bat?
He's gone
living?
too far.
Yeah, because he hangs upside down, doesn't he?
That's like next week, yeah.
He's just a normal eccentric millionaire. He's not gone too far yet.
Also, I was going to say about the salt again. It's another thing. Maybe I have a bad sense of humor, but I was just laughing again. The way he has to get the salt for her, because it just demonstrates this ridiculous room and table again. Because he's got to get the salt, stand up, walk about 10 miles to deliver the salt, and then stroll all the way back.
It's kind of like David Lynch's Batman. It's
yes,
kind of like, let's have a scene of just like, you can imagine like if Alfred came in, then he'd just be like, "I've heard about you," and like give Vicki Vale a big thumbs up, and then it'd be like 10 minutes of him like walking over with the soup, and everyone's sitting in complete silence.
They've set up chairs opposite each other. Not the chairs they're on, but on the opposite side of the table. They could have sat much closer and faced each other over a gap of about a foot, a reasonable dining gap.
That's not etiquette for the man of the house, though. He has to be at the head of the table.
If he knew so much about etiquette, he'd be much better with the salt, wouldn't he?
Oh, exactly. There you go. Yeah, but
I think Alfred's made him sit there. He's going, "This is where you sit, sir." Oh, okay. Then, yeah.
Alfred can only do so much to enforce etiquette on Master Wayne.
Like, I was going to actually ask though, because you've posited now that it's mosquito soup, but I was wondering, what do people think this soup is? Because I was sitting like, it looks very thin, and it doesn't seem like. Is it like a oxtail or what is it? Like what's?
I could see him as like a French onion man, but it doesn't look like French onion soup.
See, like, it got me thinking then that, like, oh, as Bruce Wayne's a rich guy, he'll get some, like, really, and it made me go and research the most expensive soup in the world.
I've just Googled that this second.
And according now to Google and the Guinness World Records website, the most expensive bowl of soup commercially available will cost £108 or $190.
Oh.
And is featured on the menu at the K Mayfair restaurant, London, UK. The soup is called Buddha Jumps Over the Wall and contains
Great.
It contains shark fin, abalone, Japanese flower mushroom, sea cucumber, dried scallops, chicken, Huan ham, pork, and ginseng.
Bloody hell.
I suspect Juan Ham is just an anagram for human, with
Juan
an
Ham.
extra letter or two just for distraction.
To be honest, I am... well, there's two things I want to say about that. I thought it would be more expensive. Like, that's pricey, but I was picturing, like, $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
And I was interested in it until you said the shark fin. And then I was instantly... I was
Are we
out.
still serving that in the UK? Thought that was very...
I suppose it
frowned
could be
upon.
that vegetarian shark fin I've seen. Where some purists do complain about the texture being slightly off, but yeah, I mean that is a thing you can get.
The thing, if that was what Bruce Wayne was serving too, he probably had some trouble like catching the shark himself and getting out the bat shark repellent spray, and it scared the shark off. It's like, oh, it's instinct that I reach for that, but damn it.
Rest in peace, Adam West.
But looking at the picture of that soup, I don't think that's what they're having. 'Cause it seemed to
Definitely not that. It's full of solid material. It looks almost like a stew.
Yeah.
Bird's nest soup. I'm looking
Oh.
at pictures.
Could be.
It's a bit more orangey yellow, but maybe in the bat light of that room, the dim lighting, the yellow looks dark brown. It could be bird's nest soup. But bats and birds, sort of the Gomantong caves where a lot of bird's nest is harvested for soup. The bats and the swallows, I believe it is. Every night, all the swallows come in for the evening, and all the bats leave for the evening, and it takes about 15 minutes, thousands and thousands of them fluttering about. So, I think the bat cave might also be host to swallows. They share the environment naturally.
Maybe that should be his sidekick, not Robin.
Not Robin Swallow. If Robin got jokes, then Batman and Swallow.
Oh, you had to take it there. Oh.
It's a PG show, but we'll leave
Sorry,
that in. It's too good to cut out.
Definitely staying in.
Homegrown bird's nest soup would be quite a draw for any eccentric billionaire. That's fine.
But in going in again to his like eccentricity, and maybe again it's either eccentricity or it's just Alfred's laziness again. Because was it just me or like behind Bruce when it does those kind of aerial shots of you see like the whole room and it takes in the whole table. In the top like left corner, I could have sworn it was a Christmas tree he had up. And I think it's just some kind of arrangement of candles or something.
It's a chandelier, isn't it?
It's a chandelier.
I think it's just
Wait.
the
Where's
angle.
this?
A minute,
Where's
second, 3 seconds in.
Let me see. Oh, yes. It's a chandelier.
Oh, I thought it was a Christmas tree.
It could be a Christmas tree-shaped chandelier. That's what I'm going with. Let's blend your two theories.
That's what you do if you're a billionaire. You don't just have a chandelier. You don't just have a Christmas tree. You really show off.
That's what I'd be doing. Christmas tree soup.
Yeah, I thought this might have been like a Christmas tree from like 1972 that he just left there. He's like, I'm never going to come in here again. So.
The last Christmas tree he ever made with his parents.
Oh, bless him.
You'd have trouble taking that down, wouldn't you?
Well, there's more comedy gold here, yet again from Bruce, as he asks Vicki, did you have a hard time finding the house? Because how the hell do you miss that mansion?
Oh, again, there's that.
She
Plus,
barely recognized him when they first met. Or she didn't recognize him. So
yeah, the thing is, like, yeah, he's asked that, but then where did she meet Bruce Wayne? In his house. So why would she have trouble finding the house?
That's a good point. She's been there before.
So it's like maybe that's designed to be like that's how awkward the conversation is between them. It's just like she would almost go, well, I've been here before, but it's just more like no, I'm fine. You know, it's just really the ice. It's like Mr. Freeze himself is in the room. There's so much ice they have yet to break. You know. But it's we'll go, again too, looking at the table, because I'm not one for, I'm not too educated on the way of table manners, but this 3-glass system is new to me, because I can understand forks and spoons, but 3 glasses, like, is this for each course? Is that it? Or
Yeah, I mean, one of them I'm assuming is water. One of them is ridiculous prop movie wine, as we established last week. And what's the other one?
Dessert wine, maybe. So you don't have to pour your dessert wine into your... Not that I've ever had dessert wine in my entire life, but...
I would not recommend dessert wine, I'll be honest.
You wouldn't want to... If you're offered another drink and you've already got half a drink and you've got to awkwardly finish it before someone pours, maybe it's, it's kind of a quick glass rotation.
Yeah, could be.
It's a bit classier than a can of lager in each hand, isn't it?
Does Bruce strike you as a lager man? I don't.
No,
see
exactly.
It.
He's got a nice glass. Instead, he's got 2 glasses.
Well, before work every day, I admit, have 3 drinks on the go at once with my
3 lagers. Is it
3 lagers with my granola? I have a glass of water. I have a cup of coffee, and I have a glass of orange juice.
Is that just so you can go to the toilet all day instead of doing any work?
Well, let me tell you, I do then spend 90% of the workday in the bathroom, and I'm going at work. I ain't waiting until I get home. I'm getting paid to do that.
You can get an app that logs how many hours you press a button every time you go to the toilet, and it works out how much you're getting paid over the course of a year.
Yes, I need to do that.
But do you do one of those like ridiculous like Dexter's opening credits level breakfast? I was like, geez, he must have to get up at like 5 a.m. to get that ready. It's like...
Freshly squeezed juice. How many oranges would you have to be squeezing to get that? I mean, but then again, we're in the UK. Our oranges are dry husks of fruit. Basically, they're not the freshest.
Wasn't he in Florida or somewhere?
Yeah,
Isn't that they're pretty much the orange capital of the world?
Yeah, they got to be some good oranges.
But it just seemed like so much, like even like, because I work from home, and even my breakfast is just like a little mixture of berries and like 2 slices of toast and a cup of tea, cup of green tea, and it's just like, I remember even like back when Dexter started, like the opening, first episode was airing, and I was just watching this, just like, man, that's a lengthy lengthy process for your morning. And the fact that this was the opening credits as well, it was like a minute in. It's like, is this still going? Come on.
Well, anyway, that's the signal to get back onto Batman. Haven't used that for a little bit, I don't think. But I love that there's a long silence, and Vicki asks Bruce if he even likes eating in here, which he clearly doesn't. I mean, he says, "Oh yeah," but then he does that little look around the room that I mentioned before, and then points out he doesn't even think he's been in here before. He's got 5,000 rooms in this damn house.
Well, like, that's what I kept thinking, that like, I'm torn between whether he's genuinely this awkward, and even then when he's just like, when he's looking around, this is a genuine look of like, wait a minute, I don't think I've ever been in this room.
Yeah.
Or whether this is all part of this is like a laid down, long standing Bruce Wayne method of getting a woman's kid off, basically. Like he's like, what you want to do is you bring him in, you get a bit of wine, you make things really awkward for like 15 minutes. And then as soon as the ice breaks, she's so thankful that you can just like, you can smooth on the charm then, and she's just putty in your hands. Like, this is his.
You've clearly done this before.
This is like, instead of the Dennis method, it's like the Bruce Wayne method.
So his method also involves saying he's so rich that he doesn't even care how rich he is, because he's got all these rooms. Whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I've never been in here before. Yeah. I've got 10 dining rooms, so, whatever.
Surely no better way of reminding yourself that you're an orphan than sitting at a huge empty table alone. So I can understand why he'd want to have a TV dinner instead. Or
it would be upsetting. He'd be weeping into his shark fin soup.
But you do wonder where does he usually have his dinner then? Because I don't know if he'd go the TV dinner routines to think it was Batman. He'd want to keep himself, lean and trim and have something healthy. Like, I'd imagine him, he'll be probably just down. Like, I think we even see it in Batman Returns. Like, he's just down in the Batcave, toiling away, and Alfred will just come in and give him whatever. and he just eats whatever he's given. He doesn't care what it is. You know, that's that kind of thing. But so I don't know if he's. I'm assuming that he's just never been in this room because he's never had to entertain company. Plus, he is just toiling away with Batman stuff, so he just he's
just hitting those protein pancakes hard every day.
Huel stuff or one of those, protein shakes.
Yeah,
he doesn't even need to stop. He just
that's the perfect thing for Batman.
Yeah.
Huel. If you guys listening don't know what Huel is, Google it now. Pause the show. We'll wait for you because it will explain all.
Technology. If they pause, we don't have to wait. We're just frozen in time.
What are you talking about? I thought this was live. What's going on?
But it could also be that Batman Forever got it more spot on than we knew with the opening scene of will you take a sandwich with you, sir? I'll get drive-through. Like, it could be that, Bruce Wayne's diet is just nothing but McDonald's. Like, that's it every night. That's why Alfred's like, please bring a sandwich, sir.
Well, maybe he does find it hard to fit eating in as a schedule. I mean, wrestlers, obviously, they're on the road a lot. They find it quite hard to get healthy food while they're out and about for, 360 days a year or whatever the hell they work. They spend a lot of time at fast food places. You wouldn't think so.
I remember at Tomb Raider 2, there used to be the Easter egg of being able to lock the butler in the fridge. So maybe there's a bit of sort of, a caution I think Alfred might have to exercise around going too near any fridges with a billionaire about. If that's how billionaires get their jollies, then I'd actually probably encourage them to go and eat out.
Bruce may have to go up against a certain icy customer in a later movie. We will see.
Again, you get after this though when he does I don't think I've never even been in this room before, and then that's her. She laughs, and then he instantly goes into the Michael Keaton smile, got her. Like, this is the ice has been broken. This is like Mr. Freeze wouldn't have stood a chance had he seen this interaction. But I'm wondering now, again, if we were to theorize that Alfred is helping him, like maybe Alfred is in an earpiece, and this is a Cyrano de Bergerac situation. It could be more now, because we know in the next minute he takes her in to Alfred, so it could be like this whole date's going so terribly, and Alfred's just like, at this point he's just like, right, say this, get her in here with me, and I'll do the job for you. All right,
Alfred is really the ladies' man.
He's just kind of like, I'll get it. I'll get the fish in the boat. You just have to slap her with the oar. All right, like, just give me the rod, okay?
The minute coming up, can we talk about that? I'm not sure how this. Anyway,
we'll save it if you want.
Alfred does all of the talking, doesn't he? You don't see. You're all right that we don't see any Bruce Wayne talking until she's already pretty enamored.
He's done his magic.
I'm thinking as well, because we never saw the actual. Actually, if you think about it, I think Alfred he's the guy masterminding this whole thing. I think this might be. It could potentially be that he's so like, I just don't want, young Master Wayne to be Batman anymore. He's like, if I get him hooked up with a woman, because we never see Bruce Wayne ask Vicki Vale out. You find out from her, she says, like, got a date with Bruce Wayne. It could have been Alfred ringing her going, young Master Wayne was quite enamored with you, miss. You want to come? And Bruce is just like, what do you mean you invited her over? And like, now he's stuck in this, and now he's kind of like, oh God, maybe. Because then, spoilers for the rest of the film. Alfred's always prodding of just like, there's a certain weight that lifts when Miss Vale's around. And then at the end of the flipping film, he lets Vicki into the Batcave. He's just like, I'm doing everything I can to get these two together. So he quits this whole jumping around buildings as Batman, malarkey.
We're on to you, Alfred. We are on to your scheme, and we're going to look out for it for the rest of the film now.
Unless it could be, again, tried and true practice between the two of them, though. It's like, no, you bring young women over. Bruce gets them with this bit of awkwardness, and then when they're so grateful after, when it's not awkward anymore, they're a bit easygoing. Then Alfred sleazes in, and then by the end of the night, it's a free-for-all, really.
I was going to say, does Alfred get the rejects? Or like, I don't understand the setup here.
But I guess we could find that out in later minutes potentially.
Yes, we'll have to look that up. I mean, to end the actual action, if we can use that term for this minute, Vicki laughs at what Bruce says about not being in the room before, but he looks utterly confused about why she's laughing. Like he's like, I didn't make a joke. What?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like it might actually, you could say if this was like Tony Stark or someone. That was like, oh, that's a total line. This is like, this is a bit of his charm coming out. This could be genuinely like Bruce Wayne is just like, oh, I've never been in this room before. Like he genuinely hasn't, and he doesn't know that is a joke. Like, but he just sees it like, oh, she's smiling now, she's laughing. So I guess, I feel a bit more at ease.
Well, on the article I was reading about, Google has had past tense for Batman versus Superman allowed you to street view yourself around Wayne Manor.
Yes. And
it's been taken down now, and it's just a empty plot of land somewhere in America. Hold on, it's near Orion Oaks Elementary School. I'm trying to zoom out, but I can't really work out where it is. But you can still see the pictures of the house, and it's a very different building to Tim Burton's vision. It's all glass walls. You can see straight through the house from one side to the other.
Oh my God.
And the dining room itself, if I could try and find this picture, is still a long table, but it's about half the size of this one here. And it's glass. It's in a corner, well-lit corner, looking out onto the car park or the garage. And it's got a bowl, Batman's moon bowl is the only decoration.
Batman's moon bowl.
A glass bowl from Cartel, a semi-transparent design with internal sculpting, gives it the appearance of a double-faced lunar cap. Its texture design refracts light in unusual and striking ways. Available from Mara, £61. So
I thought you were going to say £600.
No, I'm hoping Amara will send me over some cash for that plug. But
everyone check out their website.
It's the chairs, actually, are the very expensive thing. It's decked out with 4 chairs, which cost £2,400 each. Which is more.
I'll only take 2 then. I think 2 will be fine.
But that's the only decoration in the room is a bowl and some chairs, by the looks of things.
This glass wall business is weird, though. It's maybe that's him like overcompensating as being like, in case anyone ever suspects that I'm keeping secrets, that I'm Batman, I'll be like, hey. Like, I don't even have any walls. You can see into every room. Come on. Like, why would I be Batman?
Well, it is a question that brings up to me, because I don't know if it's an American thing or a movie like trope, but in everything I watch, rich people in movies and shows have really open glass houses. Like, you can see through them. You can see everything. Like, even if they're in an apartment, they'll be like a really high up apartment, but it'll all be glass and there'll be no curtains. People in other apartments can see them.
That is true. That's in Bruce's penthouse in The Dark Knight. It's all these glass panes everywhere, but it just seems to be completely open. Like, there's no even real walls. It seems to be able to see the entire city around them, which I'm thinking horrible. Maybe that's potentially the character who have been like, I don't want any walls. I want to be able to see everything that's going on. Like a circular, what would you call it? Like a 360-degree view of the entire city at all times. It's like,
but what if he gets up in the night, need in the bathroom? He doesn't want to have to put some clothes on to like stroll across the hall.
The paparazzi must be awful. I mean, if the paparazzi are bad enough, but if there's even a hint that you're also a crime-fighting bat, then surely the paparazzi would stop at absolutely nothing.
Yeah, you'd think so. Bruce Wayne's a famous guy.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I'm battling it myself, and because I recently moved flats. Technically, I just moved down the stairs to my old flat, but I've got this open, like, this big window now, and across the way, it's like that. In the Friends, when like Joey can like hear the guy singing in the morning, and he gets out and sings with him and stuff. It's just like you can see these 2 windows across the street, and like they can see everything, and I can see everything going on in there, and it's not pleasant. Like, it's a perpetual, like, I'm living in darkness now. I'm constantly having to draw the blinds. I don't want people sitting watching me doing stuff.
It's weird. It's weird. I don't like that.
Why net curtains are invented, for twitching anxiously and spying.
That's a very British thing, I think, twitching at the curtains.
Wayne Manor, complete with net curtains, would perhaps ruin
I
those
can't
teeth.
really see Bruce doing that. But one thing he does do, actually, checking the original script, the original draft. The only real difference I noticed was that he, instead of taking Vicki just over to his house like a teenager, he actually takes her out to the opera. That's a slightly higher class of date.
I think I've got notes on that why I actually really prefer this version.
Well, it's more comedy.
Yeah, but it's more like I think it works better for this version of the character. But I was going to save them for the next minute. But
Yeah, we'll get into that next minute then.
Yeah. The only other thing I've got for this minute is that I was straining to try to look at the paintings that are on the Wayne Manor walls. And I can't find anything on them, but I'm just like the one down close to Vicki. It looks really to me like a portrait of Miguel Ferrer. So I'm like, oh, it'd be awesome if that's who that was. Because I've looked up, tried Googling every which way but Sunday. And I even Googled Sunday. And you can get paintings. You can get all the paintings that have been in the museum seen later. We'll be talking about them when they come up. And you can get like paintings that are up in Gotham, the TV show, but no one's bothered to like look into what paintings were put up because you don't really get seeing them, I suppose. It's more like, oh, who's going to want to look at that? Like people analyzing the film 1 minute at a time.
Who would do that?
What kind of losers would do that?
Well, there is a back connection with what you said though, with Miguel, because there's a certain actor in a later movie who is linked to him, George Clooney.
Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, yeah, because the whole the Rosemary Clooney, and he's his cousin or something, isn't he? Or,
yeah, cousins.
Oh, there you go. But
everything's connected.
Of connections, Alfred's ex-wife was in Doctor Who.
Michael Gough, the guy playing Alfred.
Yes, not Alfred's actual
the character.
No.
That's the thing with this film, though. Is like everyone who's not like Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, all of them have been in Doctor Who. But it seems like it's like, oh well, Michael Gough was in it, but his wife was. Like, we'll get him linked to that show no matter what.
So basically, I now want to see Michael Keaton in Doctor Who. Make it happen, BBC. Get it made now.
I was like, give in to all the people who were like, you can't make the Doctor a woman. It's like, all right, fine, it's Michael Keaton. And I think the world, I think even the people who were like pro, like, oh, it needed to be a woman, might be like, well, I mean, they did get Michael Keaton. That's a pretty good idea. So.
But yeah, I mean, that's all my notes for the minute. Have you guys got anything else?
Only small thing I had was his, when I was really straining for ideas, was at about 20 seconds in when he passes the salt, he's got this, I can't tell what it is. Is it the back wall? I can't tell whether it's a divider between two parts of the room or it's some kind of shelving system, but it's got a sort of winged top to it, kind of sort of slightly bat-shaped, but
that could very well be deliberate. I mean, I don't know how old that's supposed to be.
If I was a billionaire, I'd quite like to, have little subtle bat-shaped things about.
Surely you would have rat-shaped things.
Yes, I wouldn't. Not sure they have quite the distinctive shape, bats. Bats are helped by their wings, I think. Every bat silhouette is made by its wings.
But the only other I made a few little notes on Kim Basinger, as apparently it's pronounced. Because it's just like, well, pad these things out with something. But like the one thing, like I went through her IMDb trivia, and the most of not amusing, but it was amusing the way they put it up. Because they have like random facts about her, and some of them are quite strange. But one of them, all it says, the full thing is just agoraphobic. That's it. That's it. Agoraphobic, full stop. And I had to go look into this myself. I was like, yeah, apparently Kim Basinger, at least, she probably it's probably one of those conditions where like, well, if you're once agoraphobic, it's a thing that haunts you for your whole lifor but she has had therapy for it. And apparently, yeah, she's stayed in her house for extended periods out of just refusing to go outside and stuff. Like she's
oh god, could that be why she doesn't work so much now?
Well, I mean, she actually is working because she was in The Nice Guys and then what do you call 50 Shades Darker and stuff. So I guess she is
actually recently a couple in the last few years. But I mean, in the grand scheme of since Batman, there's not like a plethora of roles.
No, but you had that, And then one of the other little factoids, because it has like things like just agoraphobic, and then down the way vegetarian. It's like, all right, that's not too weird.
Oh, it can't be mosquito soup then.
One of the other ones was allergic to the sun, which is yeah. And then the thing is, that's immediately contradicted by apparently she doesn't like swimming in other people's swimming pools because she likes to swim naked. And if she goes elsewhere, she'll have to put on like a bathing suit. But that's kind of like contradictory to like, well, if you're allergic to the sun, surely you wouldn't want to be swimming naked. That gotta be
swimming naked under the moonlight sounds like probably the best way to swim.
That's a very Batman visual.
Yeah, I begin to think she's more Batman-y than Batman.
Oh, that's the secret twist. You've ruined the twist later in the film that she's actually Batman.
Well, even getting in with that, because she's agoraphobic, I'd be like, well, she'd probably like this giant dining room because it's huge and it's like cavernous. Thing. And then she even has an even more eccentric thing of they've even got it in block capitals. Will only wash her hair with Evian water, which is a proper I've got way too much money that I.
This is why Alfred was so keen on getting them together. Then
it's just like, oh, she's a weirdo like him.
It's perfect. Perfect match.
Yeah, weirdos attract.
Yeah. And then the other one, because that seems like that's really, I don't know if she's been doing that her whole life, because that seems like you'd have to have your money made to be like, you know what, I'm only washing my hair with like Evian water from now on.
Someone when I was in India, someone from America who was there for 3 months or something, but for the first month and a half, he only washed his face with bottled water for fear of getting a stomach bug.
What? I can understand brushing your teeth. Like when I used to live in Pakistan, you had to brush your teeth with bottled water, but washing your face?
Yeah, he must have spent a lot of money on bottled. Maybe it was a bottled water salesman had this perfect scheme. I heard about the person who's got flesh-eating bacteria or something, and just terrified this poor American. And
I'll take 50 gallons.
Yeah,
but and the final little tidbit that I thought like, what? The Kim Basinger is it just has she attended the premiere of My Stepmother is an Alien with President-elect George Bush and Barbara Bush, and that's almost not so much like, oh, that's weird at Kim Basinger. It's like, what the hell is George Bush doing going to the premiere of My Stepmother is an Alien?
Yeah, that's more like a Donald Trump move, surely. This
is more like, because it's president-elect, but like he was, Bush is the guy. He was there when the Cold War ended. He was there when the wall came down, wasn't he? So
yeah.
Unless the work was already done for him, he's like, nah, I got time to go after this.
I suppose you've got to keep yourself happy as well. You can't just work all the time.
It'd be very awkward though, because if you went out to that with Kim Basinger and you're there with the wife, and then the two of you are going to have to turn around after it and be like, yeah, Kim, that film was terrible. So
How dare you say that?
And then like 2 years later when he's just like, oh, can you get us into Batman? And he's just like, no, sorry, I'm already getting this next guy, Clinton, he's coming up. I'm going to bring him instead. So.
Well, is that everything everyone's got? Because I'll wrap up if you're...
that's all I've got in terms of notes for this minute.
I got slightly obsessed with the mosquito bat link in my research. And Bill Gates funded the photonic fence, which, if you've heard, is a system of lasers designed to shoot down mosquitoes.
Oh my God, I did not know about this.
And prevent malaria. Its designs include drone-mounted mosquito hunting, laser shooting, laser drones that hunt mosquitoes. And I'm beginning to think that there's this the billionaire anti-mosquito link. Either all billionaires hate mosquitoes, or Bill Gates is the Batman and is eating 1,200 mosquitoes an hour with the help of his lasers. I think there's something.
I don't know if those lasers are incinerating those mosquitoes, though. The bat population's gonna fall.
Oh, gonna suffer. Oh, that's true. Yeah, maybe he's more Joker than Batman.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like, in terms of physical mass, Bill Gates would be even less intimidating than like Adam West's Batman.
It's a pretty hard supervillain to work into a comic book, isn't it, though? What is this supervillain's plan? Well, he's going to shoot mosquitoes with lasers and keep the bat population down. It's not got the same appeal as a psychotic clown or a
Not
man
quite
who
as
freezes
exciting.
everything. No.
Although, to be fair, Batman's had his fair share of rubbish villains as well. I'm pretty sure
yeah.
they probably could have been a comic. It's like, yeah, this guy is bringing down the mosquito population and Batman has to stop him.
Well, that just about does it for minute 31 anyway. So we'll wrap this up, and you can join us again on Wednesday where we'll have minute 32. Kit, have you got anything you would like to plug?
Plug-wise, I suppose I could plug my music. I am in a band. I play accordion and I wail while we've got a bass player and cajon. We do something similar to punk, but not nearly as popular. If you look up Rat-Bit Kit on Bandcamp, or Rat-Bit Kit on Bandcamp or SoundCloud or Facebook, use quotation marks, Rat-Bit Kit. Otherwise, you get advice on what to do if you're bitten by a rat.
Oh, your cat's been bitten.
It's generally what should I keep it? An emergency kit that only exists to my paranoia of being bitten by rats, and it's various types of antibiotic and disinfectant. But
actually, you should say to people too that might explain to them that you actually own rats, so that's why you would be a bit more worried about that.
Yeah, what I think if you own rats, you know that if you get bitten, it's no big deal. It seems people who don't own rats are most paranoid about being bitten by them, which fuels the rat legend, I suppose.
Oh. Well, yeah. Make sure to check out Kit's music there, Rat-Bit Kit, and check us out on Facebook at the Batminute 89 Listeners Society. That's where you can get all your hot bat chat. Or you can tweet us at Batminute89, or also look us up on Instagram and Tumblr as well. We're on all of those things. Just don't look at Pinterest. We don't bother with that.
You seem to have a real thing against Pinterest. Like, you keep mentioning that we don't have one. But
Pinterest! Don't get me started on Pinterest. But make sure
people
the
don't
most
know
important.
This is a bit of trivia. John Parker is the man who took down Bebo. Like that was on the way to being like the new Facebook. He took it down. He's just like, I don't like him. I'm taking him out. So
I can take down any of your websites, but one I won't take down because it's very useful to us, especially if you rate us there and review us. iTunes. Leave us a review, and we'll be very, very, very grateful. We might even go, oh yeah, thanks, which would make your day because we're celebrities. So join us again on Wednesday for minute 32 of Batman.
Next time, Vicki Vale visits a venerable veteran valet to ventilate and masticate. But did young Master Wayne ever master a maladjusted Mustang? And more importantly, will they clean up the plates? Find out Wednesday. Same Bat Pod.
different Bat Minute.